Welcome to Believe in Falcons. I'm Ovie Mughelli. My co-host Michael Turner couldn't join us today, but we got next best thing. John Abraham, one of my teammates, one of the guys I looked up to, fellow South Carolina boy. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you on the pod, John. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. It was a long night. I actually, doing a little media with 11 to Live. So was at the game from 5 to right around 1 o'clock. I have a lot more respect for media, and also I understand that, Ovie, because I know you've been doing it for a while now. You've gotten pretty good at the craft, and it's a business and it's a
grind.
job. And I played football, and I understand how long days are playing football. But being a media, it's big. It's a long time. I was like, Lord.
Yeah, you were at the game, right?
Yeah, I was at the game. Yeah. I was sitting in
the whole time, right?
That's what I'm saying. When I played, I didn't stay the whole time. I feel like I was out. Like whenever I was in the shower when I was out. So I stayed there and I sat there and got to watch the players. We talked on the field. So like I got home probably like 1:30 last night.
Wow. Yeah. See, I have to be honest. I left at fourth quarter because I got a wife and 3 kids, and I had to help out some things around the house. So I had to get on the road and didn't want to be stuck in that traffic because we've all seen that Atlanta Falcons post-game traffic. If you don't leave on time, it can add an extra 30 minutes, and I couldn't do that.
But living downtown, living downtown. Yeah.
You winning the thing. But man, let's jump into the game, man, because I was watching it on my phone, while I was heading back home, and I was, just yelling at the phone and trying to force our team to do the impossible, which is beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. I thought that we showed out really good to start out, and we could, finish it up because we're home. We're going on the momentum from last game, and we had a great chance to do some amazing things, but it didn't quite turn out. So what are your thoughts on the game, man?
First of all, coming into the game, I felt like we can win. From week 2, we played so well, and I think I told my coach or whatever, who I with, Maria Martin, I told her from the game, I said, they have to get specific on running the ball. I think having Bijan just playing running back. I know it's cute to have him, and they actually ended up scoring a touchdown from him, for a decoy, which was nice in the beginning of the game. But my feeling was the team has so much potential, but nobody knows their permanent job yet. I think they did a great job getting Kyle Pitts in. The potential that we finally wanted to see was kind of happening in one play. Hitting that 50-yard bomb was like, wow, that's the Kyle Pitts. Huge. But the only problem is being a Falcons fan or being any fan of one of the players on the team, you don't really get to see them highlight like you want to. You're going to see Bijan, you're going to see Algiers, but you got both of them. And don't take this wrong, and don't even think I'm trying to kiss your butt or nothing like that. But when we had Ovie Mughelli and Michael Turner in the backfield, y'all had a good 1-2 punch.
Oh yeah.
And if they can get 30 carries from those 2 guys a game, I can see them like instead of having at the third quarter 62 plays for Kansas City and only 26 plays for the Falcons. That is ridiculous. Third down, they were 2 and 9. Like, and think about it. But if you got Algiers getting 4.1 a carry, you got old boy getting 5 a carry. That's 9 yards. So in third down, y'all gonna be in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, compared to being in 3rd and 7 and not getting first downs. And think about it though. 4th quarter, they still had a chance to win, which is ridiculous because if you watch the game, I sat there and watched the game, and I'm sitting here asking Maria, what's the TOP? What's the time of possession? Time of possession at one point was 30 minutes to 10 minutes. Woo. I was like, this is crazy. I said, as an offense, you're thinking you won the game, correct? Like the offense, because you got a time of possession. You look at the score was only 22-17. I was like, wow. I said, dude, this is crazy. I said, if I was a defensive player, I'll be so pissed because we was on the field so long. So and I think right now they're like 31st in the league in time of possession. That's crazy. You still have a chance to win against the champions. Against the champions, you still have a chance to win, and they play so well together.
No, that's crazy, man. Before we go to the next point, I want to take care of our sponsor. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform for your #1 source of everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. To get all your stuff, get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. I wish I bet on the Falcons, and it would have kind of carried over because I feel like they were this close. They needed just a little bit to get over the edge. As a fullback, man, you talk about me and Mike. I've been saying the Falcons not having the fullback. The guy Keith Smith, the fullback last year, they got rid of him, never replaced him. But they have a great offensive line. The offensive line's got better. I feel like you got to be a bully in this league to survive and to really win. But you can't be a bully without your top guys. Drew Dahlman went out. You had Caleb McGarry went out. And I kind of understand that maybe they weren't as confident in their ability to run the ball and their outside zone. And so at that last second, because everyone's criticizing, even me, I was criticizing, who on earth doesn't run down the middle when it's 4th and inches? Like, you don't want to lose going sideways. As an offensive lineman, going sideways when it's 4th and inches is like an insult. It's like something that, the O-line would say, bump what coach saying, we're going to run down the middle. I don't care if it's a fullback dive, they didn't have a fullback, or get at least Tyler Algiers in there. You talk about being cute. Bijan, like, he can do a little bit and throw it in there, but not like Algiers can. My man had 1,000 yards before Bijan even came into existence. And I know he was sitting on the sideline because I would be whenever it's 4th and short and we don't let me get a chance to do what I do. Algiers is like, y'all running sideways with Bijan, and I'm sitting right here, and it's 4th and inches. We about to beat the Saints. I mean, what are your thoughts on how the game ended? Because everyone's going a bunch of different ways about what happened.
Personally, watching the game, it's hard not to take it personal because seeing, like I said, for me, it was more like seeing so much of the Kansas City offense on the field and seeing that they have a chance to win, just like last week against Philly. It's like, okay, well, they're going to pull it out again. But the first 2 minutes was the worst 2 minutes I saw of the whole year for them. So even seeing them moving the ball down, and I don't think it really was the play calling. And I really can say when the 2 guys got hurt, the guys that came in played well.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a big, drastic change. Like, oh my God, Caleb's out, it's terrible. Oh my God, the center's out, it's terrible. I'm looking like it's pretty much the same game plan, and they're running the ball. They have a great running game with the stretch play for the outside and the inside because you have the kind of backs that turn in. Algiers should have carried the ball more, period, during the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest, just as a fan or just as somebody just saying what's common sense. But also I said, Ovie, it's 62 plays to 26 plays in the third, going into the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. But now it ended up being like they had over 50 plays. So they did good at the end to make it look good on the call sheet. But I wrote down something like they lost time of possession, they lost third down, they lost penalties, they lost turnovers. They pretty much lost the game because of the common sense stuff that you need to win the game. Because if you look at the paperwork, if you look at the stats of the team stats, you would think that the score would be like 50-10 or something.
Yeah, it should have blown us out. The stats.
They were winning 14-13 at half, and I'm looking like looks like, man, they ain't had the ball but like 20 times. Like, I'm like, they doing good, and I'm thinking in my mind, Kansas City is looking good because the TOP was like 20-10 at the time. So I'm like, okay, the time of possession is gonna be serious because it's 14-13, but those boys are gonna be tired on defense. If you're on the field this long, I don't care because coming from halftime, they were like this with their hands on the shoulder. But having Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons is a godsend. Those 2 guys. You remember when they got these guys, John Abraham and Ovie Mughelli, like free agency or whatever? And then it was 2 guys that made it an instant impact within 2 years. It was like, okay, John and Ovie, and then it was just like, wow, you can see
Mike Turner. They got
all those guys came in, getting Judon, getting those 2 guys. It's like to match Grady Jarrett energy. Like Grady can kind of chill a little bit because when I watch those 2 guys in the back, I'm like, I see why people don't like to throw it down the middle. They don't like to throw it down the middle because you throw it down the middle, them balls can go get it. And that was like that was one of them things as a fan or even just somebody that watches football. The impact that Jesse had, the impact that Justin has, just watching. First game in Pittsburgh, the quarterback didn't even go down the middle, period. He just stayed on the outside. So that's something that you got to watch about the team now.
Yeah, so me and Mike, we always get criticized that we're too offensive heavy, we're too running back heavy. Yeah, of course, we're running backs, and we play in the offense. So we talk about, Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and we talk about Bijan and Kirk Cousins, and we touch on the defense a little bit. So I'm going to spend this pod to go to defense a little bit more. I actually feel bad because I won't say I talk trash, but I wasn't a big Troy Anderson fan. I always felt like, our linebackers were one of our weak spots because we had big names everywhere else. But Troy Anderson, I believe he had a stellar game. He led the team in tackles on both sides. Him and I think, was it Caden Ellis or one of their linebackers got injured. But just the defense as a whole, and with Troy Anderson being a Keith Brooking light version, where he's running around the field, getting tackles, and from every level of that defense, you're getting production, not as much as you want when it comes to, sacks and pressures and hurries. I feel like that's one of the areas where we didn't do our best. But still, this defense, you mentioned a couple of times, we're on the field a long time and still held one of the best quarterbacks in the league to very little compared to what he could do. Like, talk about how the Falcons defense has really progress, it's almost like back in the John Abraham days, how we're operating.
I think they find a way to win because honestly, I think on the run, we're not as good as it seems. Last 3 weeks, over 100-yard rushing almost every week, and it's not even funny. Like, I knew this week that they were going to come try to run. They were trying to run that 97, Grady. They were trying to run that Grady, or they were trying to run that Graham. And it was obvious, and they was getting it because Steele was putting his head down and getting it, man. I'm watching football, and I'm like, that's football. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs came out with an old school game. They watched the two games. And they showed, like, we don't necessarily have to whip this team. We just have to keep this team on the field. And that's what they did. I think they people figuring out, like, we can move the ball because they can't flip third downs. Like, I think what Kansas City might have had 7 or 13, something like that. They had a lot of third down. We had like 2 of 9. I mean, Ovie, in the league, unless you scored on first and second down, which is a beautiful thing, and they got 17 points and 2 of 9 of third down is amazing. I was just like, wow, like this team can be so good. This team can be so good. For defense, I think the linebacker play does have to catch up with the secondary play. The secondary,
you got all pro, all world with Bates and Simmons. Wake Forest alumni Jesse Bates, and with Justin Simmons now, it's hard to have Pro Bowl players at every level, but you got them at the secondary.
AJ Terrell is really coming out this year. I don't know if people are paying attention to his play. If you can sit there and really watch a game and you watch a cornerback that can play man to man, can play zone, comes up and tackle. AJ Terrell is really separating himself. If he was a more vocal person, if he did more in media and stuff like that, a lot of stuff that I said if my career, if I would have did more, like AJ would be one of these guys we were talking about, one of the best corners in the league, especially watching him now. I can see his maturity level. I can see how he plays. Every week, Pickens. Last week, he had Smith. This week he had Worthy and he had I got Rice. This guy is playing well. If you watch how he plays on the field, he's playing like he's an all-pro. But being in the Atlanta market, it's not as good. If you're not on commercial, if you're not coming doing podcasts, if you're not doing stuff that people can see, like, oh, he is good, because people tend to have that taste in their mouth of the person they like, and they will, oh, you seen that game? He's good. Yes, exactly. But the defense definitely, they have to get off the field. Like, I'm sorry, like, the last 3 weeks, it's like almost 70 plays a game. And then in the fourth quarter, that's when the offense start getting plays. They start piling their plays up because the time of possession, I think they're 30 or 31st. I know with 31st, I think in third down, and I think it's 30th in behind Carolina and I think Cleveland maybe. But on time of possession with like 24 minutes a game, and it's obvious. Like, if you got common sense, let's just run the ball. That shows they're running the ball. And they really got nothing to do with passing it. That shows they're running the ball if they can have the time possession like they can keep the clock winding up.
Yeah, another controversial part of this whole thing is obviously Kyle Pitts in the end zone trying to get a touchdown. You have a defender that's not even looking at the ball, and it was so bad that our head coach didn't even want to talk about it. He knew if he started talking about it, he'd get so hyped, he'd get fined. But everyone's saying that we were robbed, and as a player, you know that the refs sometimes can make bad calls and it can affect the game, but it's hard to, well, you have to not blame the refs for wins and losses, because my thing is that we should never been in a position to where the ref could decide a game. But that being said, as a fan, ref screwed us over. Like, we should have had that as a call, could have been in the end zone and had changed the whole game. Like, I feel like, I don't know, you have the conspiracies about the, Swifties, and you want the Chiefs to win to the Super Bowl again, and the refs are making bad calls. But then the next drive, I was happy to see we got a couple of calls on us that were a little, it could go either way, but they gave us another chance again. But how do you deal with these refs? What do you think about that last call when Pitts was in the end zone and didn't get the lack of calling?
I don't know if you remember, though. I think one of the biggest calls in my career, we were playing San Francisco, NFC South Championship game, in the end zone. Terrible call. Like, I knew we were losing. It was a great game. In the end zone, Roddy pretty much got just no call. San Francisco goes to then we get, I go home. It's like a snowball effect. So, but one thing I've learned about the game of football, and I think you knew this ever since from a kid, you gotta let the calls not be the reason why you lose the game. Whether it's a penalty, it's kind of like even last week in Philadelphia, they blaming, if he catches that ball, they win the game. Like, God, Saquon got to feel terrible. As a coach, not as a fan, but as a coach, he's coming there right now. Guys. That penalty wasn't the reason why we lost. That's just common sense. Let's put it. That's we looking like as a coach, as a person that played 15 years and you played like 80. So for a fullback, you play 80 years. So you know exactly what he's saying. He's saying that this is not the reason why we lost. Like, these turnovers, we can't have this. He's going to talk about turnovers. This time possession, this third down. It's the third week. We're still a great team, because if you watch the team, if you flip the numbers, the score will probably be 35-10. These guys played good football. They just be on the field too long on defense and too short on offense. We don't get a chance to really see like the magic of what they really can do. I think, like I said, I'm saying it again. Me personally, penalties don't really matter when you're kicking somebody's butt. If you watch Kansas City, if you watch the poise they had during the game, you never felt like they were out of the game. Even though the point, like I'm saying, even when they were down, the poise that their players had, the confidence you can tell when they came on the field, when the game was almost over, I'm sitting here thinking, if we win this game, it's 4 minutes left. Instead of, kicking the field goal, which on the paper says you go for the touchdown instead of the field goal. We could have took the field goal, but that's also, if you had confidence in your defense, and I'm just being real. Yeah. Like I said, being on the field that long, if you had confidence, you kick that field goal, okay, cool. We're gonna let the defense see if they can stop them with like 3 minutes left on the clock. And we were good. We're good in 2 minutes, so why not try? Like why not try? But also the paper sometimes is the little sheet. The sheet that gets you like, okay, let's go for it and get touched. Because I'm thinking like, why are we kicking 3? And then I thought about it.
I get it. It's Patrick Mahomes. They were a little concerned because like it's Patrick Mahomes, the not one but 2-time back-to-back Super Bowl champion. Yeah, and so they're like, we're gonna take our chances, not giving the ball to him. So I get that, but we also had 3 and out on Patrick Mahomes when we needed it. And so we had the capability of doing it. Our defense has been balling the last couple of games. And so I'm like, just go off your gut and know that our team can do what's necessary. So I mean, it's 2020, hindsight of 2020, and we're here talking about what should have done, what could have been done, and we know what happened, what didn't work. If that running sideways on the 4th and inches actually worked, like, oh, that's genius. Great play. But like the average person is like, what are you doing? Like the fullback in me is like, what in the heck are you doing? It's right there. And I tweeted to put in like a Penix Algiers package for, a tush push. If you're not comfortable with Kirk Cousins being able to do a QB sneak, which I think is like the highest percentage fourth and inches play out there, then you got to get somebody who can. And then Penix is healthy, a young, strapping, lad who can use his legs and get down there. We got to do what needs to be done because it just is so painful to go out like that, man. It's hard.
You know what's crazy, Ovie? I think this probably when they should have, probably played more in the preseason because these first 3 games are looking more like a preseason game because this team is. I said it last night. This team is young, and I didn't mean like the age. I meant playing with each other. Like sometimes you can stick one person in, but you're sticking one person in major roles, and they know how to do certain things. And like even with the pistol, we had to get used to the pistol. For the first game, it was like, oh, I hate the pistol. Take it out, never run it again. But then in Philly, they was like, oh, we love the pistol. Once you can get on the center and also do a little play action, oh yeah, it's beautiful. The pistol is nice. So it's just like getting to learn each other. And I think these first 3 games, and our first 3 games just happen to be against good teams, like
the best.
Really good teams, So that's why I said for me, I'm very confident on the end of the year. Now, this is week 14, 15, and it was like, okay, they need these couple games to win. I think going into New Orleans finally showed what they are, against Philly. So I'm like, this week I'm confident because I feel like we had 3 games. We saw 3 different teams. And honestly, saw 3 different Falcons teams. I think now you'll see the consistent team. You'll see that Bijan is a great running back. We're going to keep him at running back. Let him break in. We're going to get Algiers in a little more earlier, break it up. We're going to keep offenses off the field by staying on the field. Third downs, we got to get in 3rd and 2s and 1s and just, like you said, do a tush push with Penix or something, like find a way to stay on the field. Penix is young. You can throw him in there for a couple plays, but I think now they're just still building. They're still learning what kind of team they are. But the offensive line is playing well. Secondary is playing well. You just have to get consistency on both sides. The players that need to stand up have been standing up. But, you have to see those names that we don't hear a lot. Like McLeod is doing good. You got to hear those names more. You got to hear guys guys on the bench got to start making plays, because like I said, I love seeing Jesse Bates. I love seeing Judon. I love seeing Grady Jarrett. But, that's the core of the team. Like you said, you want to see Anderson more. You want to see Caden Ellis, which blitzed a little more this week. And I was surprised they blitzed Mahomes, but it was effective to a certain point, but also he's Mahomes, so he got out of pocket sometimes to show them why he's Mahomes. So, but it's just like the little name guys are the guys that we got to start hearing more from. And I ain't mean little names like somebody, but it's just the person that you don't hear about making the most tackles and stuff like that. Even with the DBs like Hughes, I saw him getting kind of. He didn't look as good as I wanted him to look yesterday. So it's just those guys you got to see making the more plays.
I'm with you, man. Before I get your final thoughts and we get out of here, man, I got to announce one of our sponsors that just came on. Real excited about them. And, hey, we got to get you some of their stuff. It's a Black-owned golf apparel company called LBOW Golf. Let's see. There we go. They're the logo, the little elbow logo. Nice. And what I love about these guys is that, I've been blessed. I live on a golf course since I came here in Atlanta. And I don't golf that much. I'm not terrible. I'm not great. But when I go out, I'm always just going out in whatever polo I can get. And, I don't know if you golf with like actual golfers or if you're a golfer, but like they have some nice gear. I never can find anything for me, but LBOW Golf, again, Black-owned golf apparel company. They're created by a sports medicine physician, Jason Corso, family owned with his cousin Joey and LaJohn. And what I love about them is that they pride themselves in bold designs and quality that excels in performance, but also the etiquette of the game. So LBOW stands for Live Boldly and Overcome Weakness. And it's really creating a space where people can be themselves and look good while playing golf. So this group has, a little discount if you mention my name, Ovie Mughelli, but you go to LBOWgolf.com, LBOWgolf.com, and it's a great chance to support some brothers doing some amazing stuff on the golf course. Like I said, hats, shirts, designs. You want to be a little different, you want to stand out, go to LBOWgolf.com. You'll get you some good stuff. But Abe, we have some games coming up. Like we have the easiest schedule in the NFL, or one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, which is why people were picking the Falcons to definitely win the NFC South, and maybe be a dark horse in the playoffs, which we got Judon and Simmons. But after that first game, they're like, "Oh, Falcons going 0-3." They got They got a tough schedule ahead of them. And I'll take 1 and 2. And again, Mike, couldn't be here today, but we were talking in the last podcast. There's no such thing as a bad win, but there is a thing as a good loss. And if there was something that had to be in the category for good loss, this would have to be there because the Falcons proved that the last half of the Eagles game was on a fluke. Like, they're getting their stuff together. Kirk Cousins was the reason they lost this game. People were saying, get Kirk out of there. You got to put in Penix. It's over. It's done. He's a bum, Rocco. Get him out.
Right.
About Kirk. I said, he's still rusty. He didn't play the preseason. That was another thing that, me and Mike felt like wasn't the smart thing. You mentioned, the rustiness of the team not congealing the way you want to. But this team could be a good team. What is next for the Falcons? How do we get back on track? We have the Saints. We're going to start to come marching in to the home dome, our stadium, and they're not the Saints of old. I thought Derek, I should have been used car salesman, was going to be the downfall of the Saints.
Oh, I did too.
He's making the Saints relevant again. He's acting like my boy Baker did for the Bucks. We're like, oh, Baker's done. He's washed up. He's finished. Baker goes to the Bucks and said, give me my money.
Yeah.
And now Derek Carr is like, oh, he's washed up. He got kicked out of Oakland. And he's like, no, give me my money. And we have something going on in NFC South. I don't like it because outside the Panthers, we have a battle. We're not going to run over them like I thought we were going to. How do the Falcons, move forward, Abe? The last thoughts, man, because I got to hear something positive about how our team can get back on track because this team is too good to just falter off the win.
Well, I guess just like I know, these are NFL teams. This is not like college. You got a Division II team playing a powerhouse. So I was actually doing a podcast the other day, and the guy had the references as so-and-so stunned so-and-so, so-and-so stunned so-and-so, so-and-so. I say, bro, it's the NFL. Ain't no stuns in here. I said, when you play, I said, I don't care what team it is or who's playing who. Every game is pretty much matched up the same. Like, you can see all these betting scores, 3 points here, 6 points here. As a player, and as a player, it doesn't matter what people think. You can see we're down 14, we're the underdogs. We're like, we know we have this guy, Ovie, that can outmatch this linebacker head to head. We know that this guy can outmatch this guy. So, and Carolina's playing good now. They got Dalton come in and it scared me. I was mad because I'm watching the game and I had to call somebody because I'm like, man, what are all these naysayers going to say now? They were talking so much trash about how the organization was trash for not letting the quarterback do this, and they are handling Vegas. Like, it's not even – they are handling them. So I was like, what are they going to say now? I think for the upcoming weeks, we got to implement the run more. I mean, just period blank. For me personally, I think it's a more controlled thing because of you. I think actually every game we played, it was all about a mentality game with the other teams. Like with Pittsburgh, I felt like it was a mentality thing. Okay, we're gonna show these guys we tough. We're gonna run the ball down their throat. Philly, okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna take this ball and run it down the throat. Kansas City, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna take this ball and run it down their throat. They had like 100 yards, 100 yards, 100 yards. And I'm looking like, as a defense, when I first saw the Pittsburgh game, I was just like, dang, we got ran over for 100-some yards. And then I looked at it, it was only like 3.1. So I was like, okay, they just ran the ball a lot. Yeah. Like, okay, I get that. But then I seen like this week, I seen Philly. I was like, okay, you don't want this on paper. You don't want this on paper. If we get 100 yards rushing on you, that's time possession for me. So to handle that, and that's mentality. You played the position that it ain't had nothing. People can say, oh yeah, this. It came with physicality. It came in, you got to be better than him. And if people see you on the field and saw you in person, they would not know you was a fullback. They were like, this guy probably played quarterback or running back, but he definitely didn't play fullback. He's just too nice of a guy, I think he might have been a coach. He might have been a coach or an owner or something like that. But he definitely didn't play fullback. And then so the mentality of this team now is like, okay, we're here.
Yeah.
Instead of like we're still trying to find pieces to put here and there. Like, we're here. This is what our game plan is. We're going to stick with this and we're going to do it because I think the mentality is just not there yet. We see flashes of great plays. We see Drake London finally being Drake London. Like, wow, we get to see Drake London. Yes. But we getting flashes. Like I said, Pitts, with the 50-yard deep ball.
Big flash.
Everybody in that house was so happy.
Crazy.
We waited 3 years just to see that one pass. Like literally 3 years to see that one pass. And it's just got to be a consistent thing that we got to find something. And when I say let Bijan be a running back, I'm saying that so you can let those guys shine too. I think the first game, Bijan, they was trying so much to get Bijan the ball by doing screen plays, doing all these little knick-knack stuff, and it didn't really work.
Yeah.
But in Philly, it was straight man up. Like, look, we gonna run the stretch play down your throat. We don't care what y'all got. And then when they try to pass the ball, not saying they did a good job passing, especially in 2 minutes, which I thought was our high point, but didn't look good this week. So I know it's like a long final thing, but it's just like so much. I'm so excited to see this. I'm so excited to see this team 10 weeks from now when it's really like, it's 13 games in, and let's see them like working on like just this. Like going, you know how it is when you get confident in your offense, you get confident in your defense. You know your offense is going to be on the field 60 plays, so defense can kind of like, okay, we can pin our ears back and we can just rush the pass and we got to work. Because Judon is coming on, he's getting in the backfield a lot. He's doing a lot of stuff that they need to see as a defensive end type thing. So I'm just excited for the rest of the year, especially because everybody can see the pieces are almost there. I take that back. The pieces are there. They just got to get connected. They just got to get connected and comfortable, and they know stuff. Because the offensive line is really playing well, and I can't even front on that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And great wrap up, John, because you're absolutely right. The Falcons are going to be fine. Like Aaron Rodgers said, relax. RELAX, relax. I know some fans like 1 and 2. What do we do if we lose to get the Saints? We got everything we need to be successful, win the division, be dangerous in the playoffs. It's just we're here. We're just coming together. So the Falcons are going to be fine. I wish they won that, but if there was ever such a thing as a good loss, this was it, because it showed that we, barring some referee intervention, could have and should have won that game and did enough to get there. But the finer pieces, like those little details, we need to work on them. We can work on them. We can get a win. So, that's it for Believe in Falcons, man. Abraham, appreciate you coming on as well, man. Congratulations on your career, on your TV and radio stuff, your media stuff. Like you mentioned, it's a crazy world, but if there's somebody who can do well in it, you're one of them, man. Thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Appreciate it.
Oh, man, thanks.